I want to talk to you about what's happening in British Columbia with his allegations of election fraud during the last Conservative AGM. Tell us what's going on there.
Oh my goodness. So never a dull day in British Columbia. So some of you who have been following BC politics, you know that the Conservative Party of British Columbia was very close to forming government, a tie, if you will, that in some cases, one riding, the Surrey-Guildford, is still up for grabs because there is, a legal petition being filed there. So on a side note, 3 of their MLAs left a couple of months ago after claiming that the party was not conservative enough and that was infiltrated by leftist MLAs, and it's not what they expected, and that there was a lot of bullying and infighting. Well, now these 3 MLAs, who I have coined the True Blue Trio. So there's a photo of them. You have Vancouver Quinchilla's Dallas Brody, you have Peace River North, Jordan Keeley, and you have, it's a long one, Kelowna Lake Coldstream, Tara Armstrong. And so those are the 3 MLAs who have left. Well, now they're coming out with allegations of essentially corruption and fraud within the AGM, the annual general meeting that took place to form leadership within the party back at the beginning of March. I think we have a clip. We can play just a little of what Tara Armstrong says. Maybe if you want to skip forward, maybe 20 seconds or so. And she gives her statement about what she claims she saw and what she heard from Conservative Party staff. And there are others coming forward. So they have affidavits that they put out. I've shared that in an article as well. There they are. And beside them, the lady in white, her name is Jan Webb. So she was part of her and her husband were part of a riding association. So they've come home with a written statement, or come out with a statement as well. So here's some of the allegations. If we play.
That John Rustad and his senior staff may have committed election fraud during the Conservative Party of BC's AGM this last March. I believe that John Rustad and his senior staff rigged the party's own election. It was this belief and his unprincipled expulsion of my colleague, Dallas Brody, that compelled me to leave the party. The purpose of this press conference is to share some of this evidence with the public and call upon the Conservative Party of BC to do the right thing and undertake an independent third-party audit of the party's AGM election processes. Shortly after the party's AGM on March 1st, a senior member of John Rustad's executive team made the following confessions to me. This individual stated that over 100 South Asian men were sent by bus and ferry by the party for the specific purpose of voting for John's slate of directors and a new constitution. I was advised that the Conservative Party of BC paid approximately $100,000 to get these individuals to and from the AGM and on other measures to rig this election. The assertions include that John Rustad and all other senior staff were aware and complicit of this. Heavy coercion was used by John's senior staff to the point that this individual's career was thought to be at stake without cooperation. Furthermore, the ferry tickets for over 100 people were paid on a credit card in the staff member's name. So it is this person's belief that John Rustad will attempt to single him out and scapegoat once the truth about the AGM is revealed to the public.
So we can stop there. I do have an article on this which goes through all of their statements that they started with. I will have to follow up based on more. I also have the statement, the response from the Conservative Party of British Columbia, which isn't a direct denial of those allegations. MLA Dallas Brody claims that she heard leader John Rustad refer to something called Indo-packing. And that's consistent with the claims Tara Armstrong is hearing. The statement said that these MLAs are not active enough inside of the legislature, and that they are distracting from important issues. We also have a video. I think you have it. Do you have the video of the? Actually, let me just speak real quickly to my experience at the AGM, because I was there with my boots on the ground.
Right.
I did inform the public that many people were unhappy with the AGM for a lot of reasons. One of the most notable reasons was that people in different riding associations and certain riding associations claimed that they were being blocked from bringing forward delegates, meaning not having the appropriate representation from those riding associations. And there were quite a few. There was a significant amount that were actually banned for one reason or another. So that was very weird. There's a picture here when they refer, and to be clear, people can, especially if they're in the same type of community, they can organize a bus or whatever and show up at events. That happens at, let's say, the March for Life all the time. But there is a picture here. I did see a group come in late that was mostly South Asian people. They, by this time I was already in, covering the AGM, so I didn't see them get signed in, but they all do have their delegate tags. Some of the delegate tags were handwritten. Some people are suspicious about that, whatever that means. And some were, I guess formally. So the allegations here are that this is Indo-packing, for lack of better words, but perhaps maybe they came together. I have to look into that more. But I do find the response in the scrum a little underwhelming based on the severity of the claims. Can we show John Rustad's scrum after that press conference?
Do we have that?
Do we have it?
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Unrelated question. The three independents were formerly conservatives at a news conference today, which they alleged that a staffer paid $100,000 to transport 100 South Asians to the AGM in March to vote for your slate of candidates. What do you say to that?
There are so many very important issues that we need to be talking about. Bill 14, Bill 15, Bill 7. The party followed all the appropriate rules in terms of the AGM. I have no idea why they want to go on to this, but clearly they don't have the interest of British Columbians in mind.
Dallas Brody even said that she spoke to you one time and you talked about what she termed Indo-packing. Do you recall that conversation?
What I do recall speaking with Dallas Brody at one time when she came in and she had some concerns is she first of all, in a private meeting we had, demanded to be kicked out of caucus. And then she settled down and she said, I don't know why I'm here, I should just quit. We've had many conversations between Dallas Brody and I, but I can tell you, what we are concerned about is really, valid issues for the people in British Columbia. Bill 14, Bill 15, Bill 7, these are overreaches of democracy. These is, from my perspective, to the legislature, the process of British Columbia. That's what we're focused on. That's what we're fighting. We're fighting for the people in British Columbia.
Okay, folks, John's actually got his estimates coming up, so you're not getting.
So let me know in the comments what you think. That meeting he referred to, I've also covered extensively. It has nothing to do with the AGM. It was the last meeting for Dallas Brody, and it was over a completely different issue as to why she said that. So it's interesting that he kind of said, well, here's what I remember, and put it there. And he raised actual, bills that I believe are a threat to British Columbia. Sure. No one's doubting that. And I just wanted to say one other thing that people didn't like that I did cover before is that the leader himself, John Rustad, did advocate and make it very clear who he wanted people to vote for. Some people didn't think that was fair. It's not unlawful to do so. Yep. But if this Indo-packing took place, it doesn't look good because his entire slate did get chosen. So that's another little caveat there.
Yeah. And I mean, people might say, like, why are you firing inside the house? But look, we are beholden to no one as conservatives except our conscience and our viewers.
Yeah.
And we call them like we see them. We follow the facts wherever they may lead. We report on the facts. We don't obscure the facts because we're all supposed to be on the same team. Just ask Jason Kenney. You know, and if not for Rebel News holding Jason Kenney to account, would we have the much better premier that we have today? You
Yeah.
know,
And it's not easy. It's not easy for
No.
us to do this. We're rooting. I think it's obvious we root for conservatives.
right.
But, you know, I had to do a very critical piece on Mr. Rustad when they did give Dallas Brody the boot. And that wasn't fun at all to do. But we fill the gap of covering the other side of the story, no matter what that story is, that the mainstream media won't tell you. So.
Well, and that's an important thing that we do. It keeps those conservatives accountable because they can't write off our criticism of them as mainstream media, Trudeau/Carney funded criticism. Oh, that's just coming from the CBC, and don't you know they hate conservatives? It's hard to say that about Drea Humphrey. You know what I mean? You know, they don't have that easy out to say, psh, that's just the CBC. Who cares? It's Rebel News, and we care.
Hey, what do you think about Alberta independence? What do you think about Alberta trying to get a better deal within Canada? Do you think Alberta should have the right to vote in a referendum to separate the same way Quebec did? There's a lot of things to talk about. Can Canada be fixed, or has the West tried that, done that, been there, and it's just not working? Well, we're going to talk about all these things in an amazing day-long conference in Red Deer, the heart of Alberta, on Saturday, June 14th. Go to donegetingscrewed.com to get your tickets now. It's going to be a full day. We'll start with a continental breakfast. We'll have panel discussions. We'll have keynote speakers. We'll even have a debate. I think that's going to be the highlight of it. David Legg, former advisor to the Alberta government, is going to make the case for Canada. Keith Wilson, lawyer, freedom activist. He was with the Freedom Convoy. He'll be making the case for independence. We'll have other people in the debates, a media panel, and people of different points of view, including different political parties. There's going to be a bit of a trade show there too. So we'll serve you 2 meals, but more than that, we'll serve you ideas you just can't get anywhere else. But it's coming up quick, and I promise you this event will sell out. There's only room for 1,000 people. And I know that there have been 1,000-person meetings about this subject all over the province. In fact, we had an event in Calgary that sold out in 2 days when we had only 350 seats. So don't be disappointed. Go to donegetingscrewed.com and get your tickets now. I'll be there. Sheila Gunn-Reid will be there. So many interesting people. Our friends in other media companies like Western Standard, Juno News, and Countersignal. It's going to be a great day. That's Saturday, June 14th in Red Deer, Alberta, all day long. Go to donegetingscrewed.com to get your ticket now. Don't wait. I don't want you to be locked out. It's going to be full. See you there. That's donegetingscrewed.com.